Hey Libra, I need to talk to you about something really significant that is coming up in your energy right now. I just pulled cards for you, and honestly, what came through is not what I expected at all. But before we dive deep into this, I want you to understand that sometimes the universe moves us away from what is familiar, from what feels safe, because there is something so much bigger waiting for us. And right now, for you, Libra, that separation is about to happen with your family dynamic, and the cards are showing me exactly why this needs to happen. I know this might sound intense and maybe even scary, but I promise you, as we go through these cards together, you are going to understand that this is not a punishment. This is actually a divine intervention happening in your life. The universe is literally repositioning you because where you have been is not where you are meant to stay. So take a deep breath with me and let us go through what Spirit is revealing about your situation. The very first card I pulled for you is the Seven of Swords. And Libra, this card is already telling me so much about what has been happening in your family environment. The Seven of Swords is about deception. It is about things not being what they seem. And honestly, it is about people taking from you in ways that you might not have fully acknowledged yet. When I see this card in the context of family, I am seeing that there has been a pattern of people around you who have not been completely honest. Maybe they have been taking advantage of your kindness, your resources, or your emotional energy without you even realizing the full extent of it. You know how you are, Libra. You are the peacekeeper. You are the one who always tries to see both sides. You are the one who makes excuses for people because you want to believe in the good in everyone. But Spirit is showing me that this has actually been used against you. There are people in your family who have learned how to navigate your need for harmony, and they have been quietly taking what they need from you, while giving very little back. The Seven of Swords is often called the thief card, and I am not saying your family members are literally stealing from you, but there is an energetic theft happening here. They are stealing your peace, they are stealing your potential, they are stealing your focus from your own path, because you are so busy trying to maintain balance in a system that was never balanced to begin with. What I find really interesting about this card is that the figure in the Seven of Swords is sneaking away with swords, looking back over their shoulder. This tells me that on some level, these people know what they are doing. There is a consciousness to it. They know they are taking more than they give, but they have justified it somehow. Maybe they tell themselves you can handle it, or that you owe them something, or that family is supposed to sacrifice for each other. But here is the thing, Libra. Sacrifice is supposed to be mutual. Support is supposed to flow both ways. And what is happening in your situation is that you have become the constant giver while others have become comfortable receivers. The universe is seeing all of this. Spirit is seeing how exhausted you have become trying to hold everything together. And the reason you are being removed from this dynamic is not because you failed. It is because you have actually outgrown this pattern. You have evolved beyond the role you were playing in your family system, but the system itself has not evolved. It wants to keep you in that same position because it works for everyone else. But it does not work for you anymore. And the universe is about to make that very clear. Now let me pull the next card, because I need to show you what this family dynamic has really been doing to your foundation. The Ten of Pentacles just came through. And okay, this is fascinating because typically the Ten of Pentacles is this beautiful card about family legacy, generational wealth, and long-term stability. But when I see it in this reading, especially following the Seven of Swords, I am seeing the shadow side of this card. I am seeing how family expectations and family structures have actually been limiting you rather than supporting you. The Ten of Pentacles can represent being bound by tradition, by expectations of what family is supposed to look like, by obligations that were placed on you before you were even old enough to question them. Libra, I am getting that you have been carrying a weight that was never actually yours to carry. Maybe you are the responsible one. Maybe you are the one everyone calls when they need something. Maybe you are the one who is expected to keep everyone together, or keep the peace, or be the glue that holds everything in place. But here is what Spirit wants you to understand. That role was assigned to you, but it was not divinely ordained for you. There is a difference between what your family needed you to be and what you were actually created to be. The Ten of Pentacles in its shadow is showing me that you have been living inside someone else's blueprint for your life. Your family has a certain structure, certain expectations, certain ways of operating, and you have been trying to fit yourself into that structure even though it has become increasingly uncomfortable. What is really interesting is that the Ten of Pentacles represents completion. It is the final card of the Pentacles suit. And I feel like this is Spirit saying, your cycle with this particular family dynamic is complete. You have learned what you needed to learn. You have given what you were meant to give. And now it is time for you to build your own legacy, your own version of stability that is not dependent on maintaining a system that does not serve you. Some of you reading this, your family might be financially intertwined with you. Maybe you have been supporting parents or siblings. Maybe there are shared resources or properties. Maybe there is a family business involved. The Ten of Pentacles can represent all of that material entanglement. And Spirit is showing me that part of this separation is going to involve untangling yourself from these material connections. It might mean financial independence that feels scary at first. It might mean making decisions that affect the whole family system. It might mean choosing your own path even when it disrupts the collective plan. Let me be really honest with you, Libra. This is going to be uncomfortable. The Ten of Pentacles energy means people are going to notice when you step away. They are going to feel it in their pockets. They are going to feel it in their daily lives. They are going to feel the absence of what you have been providing. And they are probably going to have a lot to say about it. But the universe is removing you from this situation precisely because if you stayed, you would never build what is actually meant for you. You would spend your whole life maintaining someone else's castle instead of building your own. The next card Spirit gave me is the Two of Cups. And now this is where things get really interesting because the Two of Cups is traditionally a card about partnership, about equal exchange, about mutual love and respect. And I feel like the universe is showing you this card to highlight what has been missing in your family relationships. The Two of Cups is about reciprocity, Libra. It is about two people standing on equal ground, both holding cups, both giving and receiving in balance. When I see this card in your reading about family separation, Spirit is showing me that you have been searching for this Two of Cups energy within your family dynamic, but it has not been there. You have been giving from your cup, pouring into others, showing up with love and support and resources, and you have been hoping that eventually the exchange would balance out. You have been waiting for the moment when your family would pour back into you the way you have poured into them. But that moment keeps not coming, does it? The Two of Cups is also showing me that the universe is removing you from this unbalanced dynamic because there are true partnerships waiting for you outside of this family system. There are people coming into your life who will actually meet you with equal energy, who will show up for you the way you show up for them, who will celebrate your wins instead of being threatened by them, who will support your growth instead of trying to keep you small so you can continue serving their needs. I am also seeing with the Two of Cups that some of you are going to form a new family structure that is based on choice rather than obligation. This could be a chosen family of friends, a partnership with a romantic partner, a spiritual community, or even a business partnership that feels more supportive than your biological family has been. The universe is basically saying, you have been trying to find the Two of Cups with people who are not capable of giving you that energy, and now it is time to find your people, your real people, who understand the value of reciprocity. What is really beautiful about this card in this position is that it is a promise. Yes, you are being separated from your family, but you are being moved toward authentic connection. The universe is not taking something away and leaving you with nothing. The universe is removing what is false so that what is real can finally come in. You cannot receive the true partnerships you are meant for while you are still energetically and physically entangled in dynamics that drain you. Now the Lovers card just came through, and Libra, this is your card. The Lovers is the card associated with your zodiac sign, and when it shows up in your reading, it is a direct message from the universe about your path and your choices. The Lovers is about alignment. It is about making choices that honor your true self. It is about choosing love. but sometimes choosing love means choosing yourself, even when that disappoints others. The Lover's card in traditional tarot shows a choice being made. And I feel like Spirit is showing you that you are at a major crossroads right now. You have a choice to make, Libra. You can continue to stay in the family dynamic that is draining you, that is using your energy, that is keeping you from your full potential, because it is familiar, and because leaving feels hard, and because you are worried about being the bad guy. Or you can choose yourself. You can choose your growth. You can choose your peace. You can choose your future, even if that means disappointing people who have gotten comfortable with you showing up in ways that do not serve you. The Lovers is also about values alignment. And I think what has happened for you, Libra, is that you have grown and evolved and your values have shifted, but your family is still operating from old values that no longer resonate with you. Maybe your family values tradition over authenticity. Maybe they value keeping up appearances over genuine connection. Maybe they value loyalty to the family unit over individual fulfillment. And you have reached a point where you cannot pretend to value those things anymore just to keep the peace. This card is also connected to the Garden of Eden story, right? Adam and Eve making a choice to eat from the tree of knowledge, even though it meant leaving paradise. And I feel like that is what is happening for you. You have tasted knowledge, you have seen the truth about your family dynamic, you have recognized the patterns that are not healthy, and now you cannot unsee it. You cannot go back to the innocence of not knowing. And because you know, you have to make a different choice. You have to leave the garden, even though the garden was all you knew, because staying would mean denying everything you have learned about yourself and what you actually need. The Lovers is telling you that this choice to separate from your family, or this separation that is being divinely orchestrated, is actually you choosing alignment with your higher self. It is you choosing to honor what is true for you rather than continuing to live according to someone else's expectations. And yes, it is painful. Yes, it is going to be one of the hardest things you have ever done, but it is necessary for your evolution. Let me pull the next card because I need to show you what happens when you make this choice, when you allow this separation to occur. The Empress just came through, and Libra, this is such a powerful card for you right now. The Empress is about abundance, creativity, nurturing, and growth. But here is what is significant. The Empress creates from a place of fullness, not from a place of depletion. She nurtures herself first so that she has overflow to give to others. What I am seeing with the Empress is that once you separate from this draining family dynamic, you are going to come into your own power in a way you never have before. The Empress is showing me that you have been like a garden that has been over-harvested. Everyone has been taking the fruits of your labor, picking you clean, and you have not had the space or energy to actually grow and flourish the way you are meant to. But once you create boundaries, once you step away from the people who are constantly taking from you, you are going to bloom. The Empress is deeply creative, and I feel like many of you reading this have creative gifts, business ideas, projects, or dreams that you have been putting on hold because all your energy has been going toward managing family drama or meeting family obligations. Spirit is showing me that on the other side of this separation, you are going to finally have the space and energy to bring your own creations into the world. You are going to build something beautiful that is entirely yours, that no one can take credit for, that no one can claim a piece of just because you share DNA. This card is also about self-worth. The Empress knows her value, and she does not dim herself to make others comfortable. And I feel like part of your journey, Libra, is learning to embody that Empress energy, even when your family tries to make you feel guilty for choosing yourself. They might accuse you of being selfish, of abandoning them, of thinking you are better than everyone else now. But the Empress does not argue with people who do not see her value. She simply continues to grow, to create, to thrive, and eventually her results speak for themselves. I am also getting with the Empress that some of you are going to step into a maternal or leadership role in your own life in a new way. Maybe you are going to have children and you are going to parent them completely differently than you were parented. Maybe you are going to start a business and be the kind of leader you wish you had in your family. Maybe you are going to mentor others and give them the support that your family never gave you. The Empress is about creating the world you want to live in rather than staying stuck in the world you were born into. The next card is the Moon. And okay, Libra, this card is showing me that part of why this separation is necessary is because there has been so much illusion and confusion in your family dynamic. The Moon represents things not being clear, people not showing their true faces, emotions being manipulated, and honestly, people projecting their own fears and insecurities onto you. The Moon is showing me that your family has not been seeing the real you. They have been seeing a projection, a version of you that exists in their minds, and they have been relating to that projection rather than to who you actually are. And every time you try to show them your real self, your real needs, your real dreams, they reject it because it does not fit the image they have created. So you have been living in this really confusing space where you are not sure if you are crazy or if the situation is actually as dysfunctional as it feels. The Moon is validating you right now, Libra. The situation is as confusing as it feels. There are hidden dynamics at play. People are not being honest about their intentions or their feelings, and you are not making this up. Your intuition has been screaming at you that something is off, but because you are Libra and you want to believe the best in people, you have been doubting your own perception. The Moon is here to tell you to trust what you feel, even if you cannot prove it, even if no one else sees it, even if your family gaslights you when you try to bring it up. This card is also about facing your fears. And I think one of the reasons this separation has not happened yet, or one of the reasons it feels so difficult, is because you are afraid. You are afraid of being alone, afraid of being rejected, afraid of what people will say, afraid that maybe you are wrong and you are just being difficult. The Moon asks you to walk through that fear anyway, to trust that even though you cannot see the full path ahead, even though things feel uncertain and scary, you are being guided. The universe has got you, and on the other side of this fear is clarity and peace. Let me pull another card because I want to show you what your family is actually feeling about you right now, what energy they are holding. The Two of Wands came through, and this is so telling. The Two of Wands is about potential, about looking out at the world, about having a vision for the future. And when I see this in the context of your family, I am seeing that they actually see your potential, Libra. They see that you are meant for bigger things. They see that you have opportunities and gifts and a path ahead of you that goes beyond the small world they are comfortable in. But here's the complicated part. Instead of celebrating that potential, instead of encouraging you to step into it, they are trying to keep you small. The Two of Wands can represent someone standing at a crossroads, holding the world in their hand, but not yet stepping forward. And I feel like your family has been consciously or unconsciously keeping you at that crossroads. They have been giving you just enough support to keep you connected to them, but not enough to actually launch you forward. There might be jealousy here, Libra. There might be fear that if you step fully into your potential, you are going to outgrow them. And the truth is, you are. Not because you are better than them, but because you are meant for a different path. The Two of Wands is showing me that your vision for your life is bigger than what your family can comprehend or support. And instead of admitting that, instead of releasing you with love, they have been creating obstacles, throwing guilt at you, making you question whether you should even try. Some of you, your family has been directly sabotaging your opportunities. Maybe they talk you out of taking risks. Maybe they criticize your ideas. Maybe they create drama right when you are about to make a big move so that you have to stay and deal with family stuff instead of focusing on your own growth. This is not usually malicious in an intentional way. Most of the time, people do this out of their own fear and insecurity. But the impact is the same. You have been held back. The Two of Wands is a card about expansion, and Spirit is showing me that you cannot expand within the current family structure. The container is too small. And that is why the universe is removing you from it, not as punishment for your family, not even really as punishment for you, but as a necessary step in your evolution. You have to leave the small container so you can grow into the big vision that is meant for you. The Ten of Swords just came through, And Libra, I am not going to lie. This is a heavy card. The Ten of Swords represents a painful ending, a sense of betrayal, a cycle that has completely run its course and cannot be revived. When I see this card in your reading, I see that there has been a deep hurt in your family relationships. Maybe it is one big betrayal, or maybe it is 1,000 small betrayals that have accumulated over time until you just cannot take it anymore. The Ten of Swords is the card of rock bottom when it comes to mental and emotional pain. It is the moment when you realize that something you believed in, something you invested in, something you gave your heart to, is actually over and cannot be saved. And I know that is painful to hear, but there is also something liberating about it. Because the Ten of Swords, even though it looks devastating in the imagery, is actually about a cycle ending, so a new one can begin. What I am seeing is that you have been betrayed by your family in ways that cut deep. Maybe they chose sides against you. Maybe they revealed that their love was conditional. Maybe they showed you that they only valued you for what you could do for them, rather than for who you are. And that realization has been gutting. The Ten of Swords often comes up when we have been trying to make something work for so long, and then suddenly we see the truth and we cannot unsee it. But here is what I want you to understand about this card, Libra. The Ten of Swords means the worst is over. You have hit the bottom of this particular pain, and there is nowhere to go but up. The swords are already in your back, the damage is already done, and now it is time to pull them out and start healing. The separation that is coming is not going to create new pain. It is going to prevent more pain from accumulating. It is going to stop the bleeding. I am also seeing that some of you have been having anxiety, insomnia, or obsessive thoughts about your family situation. The Ten of Swords rules the mind, and when this card shows up, it often indicates that someone has been mentally tortured by a situation. You have been replaying conversations, analyzing interactions, trying to figure out where it went wrong, wondering if you could have done something differently, and Spirit is saying you need to stop doing that to yourself. The ending was inevitable. This was not your failure. Some things are just meant to end, and this family dynamic in its current form is one of them. Now let me show you what is on the other side of all this pain and all this separation. The Ace of Swords just came through, and Libra, this is your breakthrough moment. The Ace of Swords is about mental clarity, truth, new perspectives, and cutting through illusion. After all the confusion of the moon, after all the pain of the Ten of Swords, the Ace of Swords comes in like a lightning bolt of understanding. What I am seeing is that once you create distance from your family, you are going to have these moments of stunning clarity where you suddenly understand things that never made sense before. You are going to see patterns you could not see when you were in the middle of it. You are going to recognize manipulation tactics that you did not have words for before. You are going to understand why certain family members acted certain ways, and you are going to be able to release the guilt you have been carrying, because you will see that none of this was actually your responsibility to fix. The Ace of Swords is also about speaking your truth. And I feel like part of your journey is going to involve finally saying the things you have been keeping quiet about for the sake of peace. Maybe you are going to have a conversation where you clearly state your boundaries. Maybe you are going to write a letter that you have been afraid to write. Maybe you are just going to stop making excuses for people and start telling the truth about your experience. The Ace of Swords gives you the courage and clarity to do that. This card is also about cutting cords. And I mean that both energetically and practically. You are going to cut the energetic cords that have been tying you to family dysfunction. You are going to stop taking on their emotions as your own. You are going to stop feeling responsible for their happiness or their problems. And practically, you might be cutting financial cords, physical distance, reducing contact, or completely walking away depending on what your situation requires. What I love about the Ace of Swords is that it represents a new way of thinking. You are not going to think about family the same way after this. You are not going to think about loyalty the same way. You are not going to think about obligation the same way. You are going to develop a much clearer understanding of what healthy family dynamics look like, and you are going to stop accepting anything less than that. The final card Spirit gave me is the Four of Cups, and this is really interesting as a closing card. The Four of Cups shows a figure sitting under a tree, arms crossed, looking at 3 cups in front of them while a hand from a cloud offers a 4th cup. This person is so focused on what they do not have, or so withdrawn in their own disappointment, that they are not seeing the new opportunity being offered. I feel like Spirit is showing you this card as a warning and as guidance. The warning is this: do not get so caught up in grieving what your family was not. Do not get so stuck in the pain of this separation that you miss the new blessings that are trying to come in. Yes, it hurts to lose family connections, even when those connections were toxic. Yes, you are allowed to grieve, but do not let that grief turn into bitterness that closes you off to the beautiful new relationships and opportunities that are coming. The Four of Cups can also represent a period of withdrawal and introspection, and I think that is going to be necessary for you, Libra. After this separation happens, you are going to need time alone to process, to heal, to figure out who you are outside of your family role. Take that time. Do not rush into filling the void with new people or new situations. Sit with yourself. Get to know yourself. Learn to be your own source of validation and support. But eventually, you are going to need to open your arms again. You are going to need to receive the 4th cup that the universe is offering. And that 4th cup represents new connections, new support systems, new ways of experiencing love and family that are healthy and reciprocal. It represents the life that is waiting for you on the other side of this transition. So Libra, here's what I need you to understand as we close out this reading. The universe is removing you from your family dynamic or giving you the strength and clarity to remove yourself, because where you have been is not where you are meant to stay. This separation is not happening because you failed. It is happening because you have outgrown a system that was never designed to support your full evolution. Your family has been taking from you energetically, financially, emotionally, in ways that have left you depleted. They have been keeping you in a role that serves them but limits you. They have not been able to see your real potential, or if they see it, they have been threatened by it rather than supportive of it. And you have been trying so hard to make it work, to be enough, to fix what is broken, but some things cannot be fixed by one person's effort alone. The cards are showing me that on the other side of this separation, you are going to bloom in ways you cannot even imagine right now. You are going to create, you are going to build your own version of success and family and happiness that is not dependent on maintaining peace in a dysfunctional system. You are going to find people who actually show up for you with the same energy you show up for them. You are going to experience what reciprocity actually feels like. Is this going to be easy? Number. Is it going to hurt? Absolutely. Are you going to doubt yourself and feel guilty and wonder if you are making the right choice? Probably yes, but I need you to trust the process. Trust that the universe has your back. Trust that this separation is divine intervention, not divine punishment. Trust that you are being moved towards something so much better than what you are leaving behind. The cards I pulled for you were 7 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and Queen of Swords of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, the Lovers, the Empress, the Moon, 2 of Wands, 10 of Swords, Ace of Swords, and 4 of Cups. 10 cards that tell a complete story of deception and obligation, giving way to choice and clarity, and ultimately, new beginnings. This is your story, Libra. This is your journey. And even though it is hard right now, you are going to look back one day and understand exactly why this had to happen. I hope this reading brought you some clarity, some validation, and maybe some peace about what you are experiencing. Trust yourself, trust the process, and know that you are not alone in this. The universe is orchestrating this for your highest good, even when it does not feel good in the moment.